Megyn Kelly cannot help but be blown away as she witnesses a group of veterans talk straight smack about Tim Walz, completely unload on the guy. Tim Walz, Mr. I wielded an AR-15 as a weapon of war during war, Walz. Right, yeah, except that's completely not true, and he's a complete liar, and that is why these guys came here to unload on Walz. No pun intended. Guys, this is gonna be a lot of fun, and you're gonna like it, and we're gonna get right into it, but first, everybody, please help me out here. Like our video, share it around, and yes, if you are new, subscribe to the Resist the Mainstream YouTube channel so we can keep bringing you guys this great content. Thank you so much. For those of you who are coming back, we appreciate you. As always, everybody, I'm your host, Arian. Let's get into the video.
When you think about the fact that this guy could be a heartbeat away from the presidency, from being the commander-in-chief and in charge of all the armed forces and saying who deploys and when, how does that make you feel?
And more importantly, helps determine, could determine rules of engagement. Well, and then he even put, politicians putting military.
Well, he could be in a situation room like Kamala was when Afghanistan fell. I mean, if
she was the last one in the room.
So you're not raising your hand and saying, this is bullshit. What's going on?
Right.
This is ridiculous. I mean, I literally was in some of the worst depression in my life after that when I saw that going down. I was like, I'd watch the news and my gut I just was empty because it was just. I saw what happened in Iraq when they withdrew, and it was not the greatest there either. Because, you look what happened to the vacuum there with ISIS coming in. And all of a sudden, we're doing the same crap worse in Afghanistan. I mean, people falling off of planes and Abbey Gate and then those people, those brave heroes there that died. I was just, you got to be kidding. We're doing it again?
Did you? Go ahead.
And all I want to say, one of the things I would like to reiterate and punch through on this is, you know what? Fear is a reaction. Bravery is a decision. And Walz has made the wrong decision. He's not brave. I call him a coward because he is, because he took the easy path. He took the path of least resistance.
Walz very promptly resigned from the military not long after 9/11 when it was announced that there was a war coming up. So that's probably the context there.
And I'm sorry, but when you go over there, things get ugly. They get ugly fast. You're gonna see things that you don't want to see.
I don't want to bash Tim Walz too much. He's not the only coward we have. Another one is Joe Biden. And it goes without saying that awful pullout from the Afghanistan war is just one of many reasons that he is terrible. Another one is this bunk economy. Guys, this sucks, okay? I went to Chick-fil-A today, and guess what? I paid $15 for a simple little meal. But hey, on the bright side, at least we had good service. Anyways, this economy is why I've decided to partner with Goldco, and I think you should do the same, guys. As the value of the dollar has historically gone down, the value of gold has gone up. Sounds like it might be a good fudge against inflation. So if any of you are interested to learn more, please go to rtmgold.com. You can type it in your web browser or click the link in your description. What's more, everybody, you can get a free gold kit. Yes, you heard that right, free, because we know this is a big decision and we want to make sure you're comfortable with making it. So go ahead, take advantage of that. Don't forget also, you can roll your IRA or 401k penalty and tax free. Yep, pretty good deal. So head on over to rtmgold.com, guys. Check it out.
And you're going to deal with that. And I just think that he is an exact result and why we have stolen valor. People make decisions that are cowardly and they come back and they try to lead vicariously by robbing other people's, all the other soldiers and all the benefits that we did and all the sacrifices. They want a piece of that and that they feel slighted. And so, or they feel like they made a mistake and this is how they're making up for it. Fantasy land.
You know what his defenders will say? What about President Bone Spurs?
Yeah.
At least he served in the National Guard. President Trump got out of service in Vietnam by saying he had bone spurs, which they didn't believe. And so who are the Republicans to cast stones? Wouldn't you rather have somebody who at least served in the National Guard versus somebody who skirted military service altogether?
Not somebody that's a turncoat traitor is how I would put it. I mean, that's the thing. If you served in it and you did what he did for 24 years, and all of a sudden said, when I looked up the turncoat definition, in the Revolutionary War also, it was like, that's what this guy did because he literally and I've called him a deserter also, because he left his post, he left his duty station, and he walked off into the sunset. I say slithered a lot of times, that he slithered out of the armory, but he walked into the sunset, never turned around, never had any intention of ever coming back to the military. He was gone, and because I've got better things to do. So he took his uniform and he literally turned it inside out and went off into whatever other realm he did, and which was vote against anything that went on in Iraq, vote against Gitmo, vote against wherever. And by the way, Gitmo would be a good place for him to end up at, I think.
Oh boy.
Or Leavenworth. But that's how I look. It's just unbelievable.
But how do you compare that, right? I mean,
One of the left's most common counter arguments to suggest conservatives and Republicans are being disingenuous or fake, because at the end of the day, they say Tim Walz just had to leave. It had nothing to do with the Iraq War. It was just a coincidental thing, whatever. There's just one problem with that. Walz routinely lies about carrying a weapon of war during war, which he says an AR-15. By the way, people don't use AR-15. It's based on a technically different type of rifle that's automatic, unlike an AR-15. But anyways, I digress. The point is, Walz fakes being some kind of, one could even say, a war hero. He acts like he's done this brave and heroic thing, and he was never in combat in the first place. It's totally fake.
Trump chose not to serve at all. Right there, you got the knee. What do you make of that? How do you reconcile that?
Here's what I'll tell you is that one, you get apples and oranges, and then two, I'll say, well, President Donald Trump decided to do battle in a different form, and at least, you know what? He's been shot by the enemy. He was in good. The enemy
It's true.
Closed in and took action against a former president of this country and tried to kill him. And he got wounded in action, fighting for the rights and the Constitution of this country. We all took an oath to defend the Constitution of this country, right? And not walk away from it, not go get married in Tiananmen Square, not, go around lying about carrying weapons in war and everything else. That he's lied about. There's morality decisions, there's ethical decisions. The Army, he's supposed to be the pinnacle of the Army values at his position. Mm-hmm. Anybody that knew me, that served with me in the military, even when I was a brigade sergeant major and I had 5,000 soldiers, and everybody that knows me knows that I don't sugarcoat anything. If I don't like you, I'll tell you I don't like you. If you're terrible at your job, I'll tell you you're terrible at your job. If you're doing a great job, I'll tell you you're doing a great job at your job. The Army value, honor, integrity, selfless service. Where is all this?
Loyalty.
But this guy showed integrity and was honest and straightforward with people during his time in the military. Man, he would make a terrible politician, unlike Tim Walz, who, say what you like about him, you can't say he's a bad politician. Well, maybe in some ways, but you get the point.
His soldiers and his country and the oath that he took, commitment, candor, all those in the non-commissioned officer corps. He doesn't support any of those values that we hold dear. And if you give him a pass, if you're in the military, you gave him a pass because he left in the middle of the night, left his troops, lied about everything. You know what? You need to look in the mirror and reevaluate your ability to say what you're saying.
Does he have to speak to this? So far, he's gotten away with not saying much. What would you like to see him do?
Apologize
to the number one, to the first district for buffaloing him for 10 years, basically. Number two, go to Congress and tell whoever the highest ranking person that actually served in Congress, not him, apologize to that person and say, I guess I was lying that whole time. It looks like it's you. Now you can wear the 12-point rack now and have the crown as being the person that should deserve to say that.
Well, everybody, we're going to have to cut it off right there. Hope you enjoyed that discussion. Those veterans seemed like very wise and honorable men, and we respect them. Unlike Tim Walz, they had a genuine form of service, and that's cool. With that being said, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. As always, help me out, everybody. Comment below. Let us know what you liked about the video, what kind of content you want to see in the future, and we'll see you again soon. Thanks, and God bless.